Hey guys, welcome to the podcast today.
Morning.
Thank you.
Hey, Mike. Hey. How is everyone?
I'm great.
Good. Yeah.
That pre-podcast was pretty somber.
It was.
It was.
Well, it
I'm
was
gonna
kind of
have
a
to spice
somber
it up a
recorded
little
that
bit.
one.
Chapter 7 is
It was kind of a heavy chapter.
It's a heavy chapter. It is.
So for our viewers or listeners, we always have kind of a pre-recording discussion where we talk about the things that we're going to talk about, and everything felt pretty heavy today.
Yeah,
So,
it
did.
yeah,
We're all low energy. We're going to have to
great. Which is a little bit
Figure
more
this out.
coffee.
That's right.
It's President's Day.
What's your coffee mug say there?
It says be happy.
Be happy.
It's going to be
happy.
perfect
From
for
the
today.
mustard seedsters.
I love it.
we should take that to heart.
You should. Yeah. It's a great message that they give.
It is.
So good. Yeah. So it's, it is President's Day. Our kids
of school.
are out of school, which means I didn't have to set a 5 o'clock alarm this morning. And
That's a win.
I feel like that's a great day, man. I slept beautifully. My cat didn't get up in the middle of the night and start
Yeah.
banging on the door.
Yeah.
Did y'all-
Or opening the
Do
door.
y'all have cats?
Because you said yours opens
He
the
will
door,
hang
right?
from the doorknob
Yeah.
and try to open it.
Yeah.
Like it's unbelievable.
Smart cat.
I don't even like cat.
Or
but
evil cat. I don't know.
I
Could
think
go
it
either
is
way.
an evil cat. It's trying to stare
Our
at me.
cat goes out at bedtime and roams the neighborhood and kills stuff and then comes back in the morning.
Goodness gracious.
Well,
Yeah, it does not stay in the house at night.
You'll just let it out at night, and then you just open the door in the morning. He's there.
dying.
She's
Yep.
there.
Like a barn cat that's
That's
kind of
exactly
half and
right.
half.
It is beautiful.
yeah, we do not have cats.
Maybe I need to let my cat out.
We have
need to
cats.
Get out of here, cat. Our cat's name's Alley Cat, like an alley.
Yeah.
Sounds like she can handle it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Ours spent one night out here recently, but it is not an outdoor cat.
really?
So by the next day, she was like, "What have y'all done?" I was like, "What'd you do? I mean, you're the one who left." So,
It's your fault.
Well, good weekend for everyone.
Yeah.
I think so.
It was great.
Yeah.
It's sad.
It was Valentine's Day.
No, that's not sad. That was great. But it's sad that football's over.
Yeah, how was your Valentine's Day, Josh?
Good catch there.
For since what? End of August, last Saturday in August.
Every Saturday.
There's football on, and this is like the saddest time in the whole world. Baseball really hasn't started yet. I mean, college baseball, but like baseball on TV hasn't necessarily started yet.
If Ecclesiastes was written today, it probably would have some of that. in
It would start. It's Hevel. Like this season, right? And it's not turkey season yet.
That's right.
Deer season's over. The bass aren't really biting.
Nothing to hold on to.
This is smoky,
NASCAR's
man.
back.
And Jordan won. Michael
that's
Jordan's
right,
car
yeah.
won yesterday, which, that's
There you
something.
go.
That is something.
He wins championships everywhere he goes.
But according to your sermon, NASCAR and college football, it's all hevel.
It's all Hevel.
All Hebel.
It's unbelievable. Some of it's good Hevel.
Man,
Good smoke.
it's some pretty
Some
thick
Hebel is
smoke.
more fun than others.
Sometimes I'll put a
As,
brisket
as
on.
Snoop says, good smoke.
Whoa, that's something. There. Somebody will get a reference of.
I'll cut that.
So, moving
where'd you
on.
go there?
Yeah. I made the transition to smoke, so let's go.
You did.
You got
So before we go to smoke, Sunday we had budget vote.
Yeah.
We did not
we voted
Hevel
our budget
there.
in.
No, sir.
Yeah.
Let's not make that a.
Not Hevel. That was certainly substantive.
Yeah. So, but, it was an almost unanimous vote.
Almost.
One.
There was
yeah,
one
person.
naysayer.
Well, I think there was a second one.
Okay. Well, the one that I know about was a curmudgeon, and she has been a curmudgeon ever since I've known her.
Ah.
She's 9 years
known
old.
her for a while?
She has curly hair. Her last name's Bratty. And after it was over, she said, "Your vote wasn't popular." That's what she said. Unanimous popular. Your vote wasn't popular. Why? Because I voted against it. And smiled and walked off. I was like, fantastic. Thank you.
There you go.
Yeah, well, I think there was a 3-year-old on the row in front of us down at the end
Yeah.
that also was a naysayer.
Yeah.
Nice. Gotta love it.
They just
tough to
heard
get
raise your
100%.
hand and thought, sure.
Gotta
I'll
keep
raise
you
my
humble.
hand.
That's right. So
Love to hear it.
So anyway, but it feels good to have an approved budget.
That's
right.
It's exciting.
Yeah, now
It
you
is
get to
exciting.
hit the ground running.
Biggest budget we've ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we got
A lot of exciting things.
a lot of exciting ministry things planned, and it's going to be a good year.
Yeah.
It is.
I agree.
So
For sure.
yeah. Speaking of good years,
Tires?
or yeah, that was supposed to be a segue. That was
Still waiting.
Josh derailed that.
yeah, brought up tires.
Sorry.
So Ecclesiastes 7. So we got into
Good years, yeah.
Josh, you booked it through like 29 verses.
29 verses in 30 minutes.
I thought it was good. You didn't really feel rushed at all.
It didn't.
No.
You bunched it.
That's
pretty
right.
good.
When you batch them together, they go
Yeah.
pretty quickly.
I was a little surprised. There was a moment where I was like, there's still a lot to get through here.
Yeah.
And I was watching where I was sitting, I could see the clock.
Right.
And I was
The
like,
countdown timer, it's pretty daunting.
It
Like,
goes pretty
doesn't
fast.
stop.
Yeah. But you did it. You handled it well.
Oh, we
yeah.
landed. I
Yeah.
think I landed with 7 seconds. So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, And I forgot to mention it was Next Gen led worship too.
They did
That was
great.
awesome.
They did
It was
really
great.
good.
They did really
Bunch
good.
of
That
kids
worship
in the choir.
team, that's pretty impressive.
It really is.
I mean, there's
They
some
did an
skill
awesome
and talent
job.
on that stage.
Yeah.
And heart. It was awesome.
Yeah, and I think that certainly bodes well for our staff leadership who invest in them weekly. Like this,
Yeah.
this is what we got to see yesterday. Certainly was a one-time event that we saw, but that's something they do each and every week,
right.
whether it's
Yeah.
in children's ministry world or student ministry world. Like Chandler has a very big role in developing those leaders, and so much of what we saw is Chandler and Johan's leadership over the course of the last year, and for Chandler years. It's been amazing to see that hard work come to fruition and us get to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And
She's great.
a great leadership.
Well,
moment.
it's a reminder. Some people talk about children or students as the future of the church, and I think it reminds us they are the church
now.
here and now.
Yeah.
I mean, they are.
That's right.
They are doing things every week that are just as vital as a part of the church as anything
right.
else
That's
we're doing.
great perspective. Yeah. No. Well, so as we said earlier, chapter 7, it's really just really bright and
Cheery.
sunny, cheery. Yeah, so let's maybe start. I'm trying to just figure out where to jump in here, but maybe we'll talk about for a minute. You talked about kind of the Solomon's sort of class schedule, so the dying, mourning, crying, rebuke, like the 4 master teachers in the school of wisdom. So,
I just imagine when you said that, like a college campus, because when you go to college, everybody's like comparing, like, oh, don't take this person,
take that guy.
It's like the 4, like, don't take this one or this one or this one. I mean, none of us
I
want
don't want
any
none
of
of
those 4.
Yeah.
So
Dying,
those are the
mourning,
master
rebuke,
teachers.
and cry.
Unless, right? So I think this is his point. Like, unless you want to come out on the other side the
In a better-
best
that's right.
that
That's
you
right.
possibly can be.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the
tension.
The tension that's held, right? So if you want an easy, quote unquote, easy experience that's not going to get you far in this life, or if you enjoy the smoke, then fine,
Yeah.
live in the
Avoid
smoke.
these things.
But if you want something more, you're going to have to walk through this hard.
The hard stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's going to be a picture, again, this gets way off of this chapter 7, but into the larger picture of Scripture and what happens in life and death, right? So in this life, there's this stuff that we live that allows us certainly to advance the kingdom, but one day death comes for all of us. And the way that Genesis has this picture of when Adam and Eve are cast out of the garden, right? So they go east of Eden. They're cast out, and they have these guardians who are standing there with swords, saying, "You cannot
Can't
enter.
go
If you
back.
come back this way, you'll die." And essentially, what it's saying is to get back in requires death. But you're not going to be able to make it with the death that you're going to die.
Yeah.
And so Jesus dies a death for us that then becomes a doorway, which brings in John 10 open for us because he's the door that we now walk to from this life into what's coming. So it's through these hard situations, the master teachers, that we don't on the outset want to walk through, but we're required to walk through if you want what's on the other side.
That's right. That's right.
But there's no other way to get it unless you walk through these hard things. And that's what Solomon is saying. He's dude, if you want a substantive life, if you don't want to live in the smoke, if you want real, authentic life here, you're going to have to learn from these teachers that you're scared of. So don't be scared.
Yeah.
Look them in the eye.
Go do it.
And say, what do you got to
Do
teach
it.
me today?
Yeah.
as you were talking about it on Sunday, like my mind went to James 1, and it says, "Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds. You know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness.
Yeah.
And let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing." And so I was just thinking that my mind went to that, like, none of us like to go through those sorts of things, but they're necessary to grow, and God uses those things to shape us and mold us.
That's right. I find myself, of the 4 teachers, of course, I haven't died yet. At least that I think I haven't died yet. But
Hey,
certainly
we've been wanting to tell you something.
That's exactly right. But been to a lot of deathbeds, and certainly can understand because he's contrasting these with the other things, right? So he says it's better to die than to be born. Essentially saying it's better to learn from a death than it is to learn from a birth, because usually at a birthday party or someone's birth, it's celebratory. Oh, we're not thinking too highly of it, but we're certainly just enjoying the moment.
Yeah.
But when it thinks about death, you're considering the whole life, or mourning or crying. But when I think about rebuke, like for me, this is the teacher that I think stings the closest, because of all the ones I don't like to hear from, at least right now, because mourning, I guess I can understand that, crying for sure, but rebuke, I still want to think I'm right.
Yeah.
Like that's
The
that
rebuke
pride.
feels more personal
It does.
than any of these other things.
But which one teaches you more? Someone who praises you or someone who rebukes you or corrects you?
Right.
Well, again, if the goal is to become better, to become more aware of who we are and better equipped to where we're going, and we say, well, I certainly want that. Okay, that's rebuke.
Yeah.
Well, do I really
I don't
want
want
that? That's the tension that's held
Yeah.
that Solomon has given to us. So.
Yeah.
I think about past life experience, and I would agree. The rebukes are definitely. That's where you learn, right? And then that's where you're confronted with an area of weakness. I also think about those mourning seasons and the crying seasons of emotional pain, whether it's seasons of anxiety or loss, where you find yourself alone and hurting. And if the goal is not just changed behavior, but the goal is a heart that is affectionate toward God, for me, those hurting moments shaped my heart in really strong ways. I remember a specific time I was sitting in my car and just in pain. Like I have the memory in my head. It was hurting. Life was tough. And there was a worship album that had really meant a lot to me, and I was listening to that, and I just felt that moment of intimacy was as deep as I've ever tasted.
Yeah.
And it drew my heart to the Father in a really, really special way, you know, and transformed me, my behavior long term. But in the moment, it was a heart shift for sure.
I think that's the case. Most of us, when we talk about our spiritual growth, will refer to hard times, hard seasons, loss, things that didn't go the way that we wanted. And I think in retrospect, we can look back and see that God was doing something that was probably the only way that he could do it in our lives. But when you're right in the middle of it, it's hard to see sometimes. Thank you, God, for this thing that feels so bad and so hard right now. It just takes time sometimes to get on the other side of it.
Never would ask for it, though.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, we typically don't wake up praying, God, make today hard so that my faith can grow. Take something away from me so that I can love you more. Right?
What's funny about it is during this season, I was at a camp. I was camp counselor for the summer, and the theme was brokenness. And so we prayed all summer for brokenness. And I remember telling my brother, who was a pastor at the time, we've been praying for brokenness. And he's like, I'm not sure you want to do that, brother.
Be careful what you pray for.
And lo and behold, it was indeed a broken season after that. It was awesome.
I think that also comes with age in life, because I remember doing the Christian camp thing, 18, 19, 20, and I'm like, I remember there was a song out, Lord, we want to see your face, like something essentially, God, show us your glory, we want to see your face. And I remember the worship leader, who was a little bit older than us, right? So a lot of times the worship leaders that you resonate with or kind of similar age stage. And this guy was much older, much older, probably
our age now.
Probably our age now. That's exactly right. But I remember him saying, hey, do you understand what you're praying? Like, do you understand what you're singing, what you're asking God? That in Scripture, anytime that God shows himself, like when you get to see him, it's a refining moment. And the refining moment means that there's things about you that aren't great at the moment, or they're hindering you, or they're stopping you from seeing him. And God, in grace, but in power, is going to take them out, right? And he is going to do it by any means necessary so that you can see his face. So when we pray that prayer, it's certainly not a scary thing. We shouldn't say, oh, well, God's going to get us now. But it's a sobering prayer. What is it stopping me from seeing him?
Right.
What are the things in my life? Because essentially that's what we're saying when we pray that prayer. God, I want to see. God, remove all the things from me that will allow me to see you. And then when we get there, then we can understand Psalm 139, right? So that's David's prayer all along. God, search me. Know my heart. See if there's any wicked way in me. And if there is, show me so I can repent of that, and then lead me in the way everlasting. Man, when we get to age a little bit, you guys are certainly aged a little bit. I'm still super young. But that's a beautiful teacher.
What he did,
I did. I saw that.
It's a beautiful teacher.
He's looking mostly at you. I did notice that.
Well, you said, you're sitting in the car with the album. I was going to make a joke, but it seemed not the right time. That 8-track must have been just awesome. But super great.
Yes, I did say album like that.
You did.
Yeah.
Which is appropriate.
They're albums again, I think. So records. I don't know.
Retro.
Let's keep going.
I don't know.
Let's keep going.
So let's talk about. I think it was verses 9 and 10, where it talks about like anger and nostalgia, and it's like fuel for the fool's fire.
Which I didn't think you came up with. I thought you got it from a book, but you said that came straight from you.
Yeah.
Fool's fire.
Fuel for the
fool's
Now, to be
fire.
fair,
That's catchy.
It's
I
kinda
read
hard to
about
say,
9
actually.
books a week.
So
on,
you coulda
on
caught
these
it.
things.
You
These
coulda,
things
yeah,
come
that's right.
somewhere, but I did not attribute it to an author. So let me be clear.
He does
on
not
that.
remember
nothing
taking
new
that
under the
directly
sun.
from
There's
another
nothing
author.
new under the sun, according to
So
Ecclesiastes.
anger and nostalgia.
Yeah. So essentially, verse 9 is about anger. He said, don't be quick in your spirit to become angry. And then he also says, don't say, why were the former days better than these?
Yeah.
Right. So both of those are responses to what. So we kind of skipped over a portion that bridges the two together. If the hard teachers are teaching you something, then we respond to those things. And there's a couple ways that you can respond to it. You can say, okay, I want to learn from this. Or we can get in our feels, get our feelings hurt, and we can respond in anger and say, "Who are you to teach me this? Who are you to make me hurt? How dare you make me bleed my own blood?" Right. So that situation.
That's right.
Or the other side of that is, man, this is too hard. I don't want this. Do you remember when the days were better?
Yeah.
Right.
Remember when we just used to just not even have to worry about these things? Because both of those miss the learning. If you're angry, you're not there to learn.
Yeah.
And if you're nostalgic, you don't want to be in the moment.
You're missing
you're missing it,
today.
and it's a self-preservation mode. I'm going to go. I can't handle the here and now, so I'm going to go to a place in my mind that is different than now, and that was then. So if you live with either anger or if you live with nostalgia, both of those are saying, I don't want to learn.
Yeah.
I know the teacher's here. I know I'm in the classroom. I know the test is on the table, but I'm not here to take it. I don't want to do it. And when he says, if you do that, then at the end, when he talked about, I think it was verse 6, he talked about the fool, the laughter of the fool is like sticks burning under the pot. And essentially, like if we want to act like this life isn't hard, and we just want everything to be happy. It's so great. I'm not going to worry about anything. He said that's what makes this world smoky.
Yeah.
That's the wood that's crackling underneath the pot, the fire that's putting off all the smoke that we have from the very beginning said hevel, hevel, because we haven't wanted or dared to learn what this hard world has to teach us.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of the confrontation that Solomon is now giving to us in real time. It is us that brings the smoky existence into this world, not necessarily the world.
Right.
The world's broken. It's going to do broken things. We, as God's people, should be people who understand ourselves as different, set apart, holy, in the sense that God has seen fit to trust us with something. It's now our opportunity whether we want to learn from that something.
Yeah.
And our mindset is going to be the thing that either accepts it or runs from it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
And I think we are all prone to say whatever that good season in the past where there wasn't as much hard going on.
Yeah.
We are all prone to reach back for that and say, if only today could be like that.
Yep.
But in order for today to be like that, we're missing all the lessons that God's trying to teach us, which at the end of a lot of this, right, is really about, are we willing to let him teach us however he sees fit in his sovereignty to know this is the thing that's actually going to grow us in our faith the way that we need it versus us getting to dictate what life is like and choose how our days go and that sort of thing.
And I think, guys, this is the tension that Ecclesiastes has raised in me. Someone who is a hypochondriac by nature, someone who is highly anxious and usually depressed. In seasons like this season right now is a better season for those things, but historically it has been those things. And I think my greatest fear in all of that is if I don't keep an eternal perspective, I will think that the here and now is all I have. And when anything threatens the here and now, it sends me into a terrible spiral. But whenever I believe, and this is an exercise that I have to work on, like it doesn't come naturally to me. But if I can actually get myself to trust what the Bible teaches, that this is not all there is to life. Like as a matter of fact, this existence is but a vapor. Right? So that's, James says, that we're here for a moment. We're 1 second. As the flower is born, it quickly dies. Like as beautiful as it was for 2 days.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of all the days, it's a blip. on the map of eternity. And so for me, there is that tension that lives there. Do I trust that God is God and I am not, and this is not all there is to my existence? Because if I think, even if we get 80 years, even if we get 90 years, which would be the extreme, I would assume, do I still believe that there's an eternity after that?
Yeah.
Right.
We can preach it, we can say it, but at the core of who we are, do you actually believe that when you breathe your last breath, you will stand in front of your Creator one day? Because if you believe that, then this world becomes, in some ways, meaningless. Like I'm not living for this world anymore. I'm living for what's to come. But if you don't believe that, then we're going to live for this world.
That's all we got.
And that's hard because this world's broken.
Yeah.
And
It'll disappoint.
And we've signed up, and I think this is the harder of the tensions. If you're not quite assured of what happens next, I'm not saying that you're not holding it in a healthy tension, but if you think that all you have is the here and now, and you've signed up to be a Christian, that's doubly hard because you've essentially strapped on the belief and a target to say, I live for something more, but inside you're not. And so now you're living with a conflict of belief and practice. And I think a lot of us as Christians struggle with that.
And I don't think we're even neutral on it. I think is somewhat of a cultural thing, and probably here where we are in the Bible Belt, there is more of a belief that if I signed up for this Christianity thing, then life should be good. I should be protected. I should be blessed, however you want to phrase that. Whereas in some cultures, they go into it with the knowledge that when I say yes to Christ, I'm putting a target on me. And more than likely, I'm going to suffer. My family may suffer. This may not be easy, and my life may be shortened because of it. And it's a completely different mindset.
And that's why you have a lot of angry religious people in the United States and a lot of joy-filled people
in really hard places.
Really hard places where they're being persecuted for their faith.
Where does that come from in our culture?
Tell us, counselor.
I don't know. I'm asking.
Gosh.
Well, I think a lot of it is the way we understand the gospel. I respond to what I feel like I'm being called to. And so if at 9 years old I feel like I'm being called to a life of religion that's going to give me blessings and joy because I do the right thing.
Right.
And then at 35 or 50 and I've got kids and I look back and I think, that didn't give me what I thought it was going to give me. That makes you angry.
That's right.
I mean, it makes you frustrated because you were sold and bought a gospel that really wasn't the gospel.
Right. So does that come down to
the way we preach the gospel?
I think the way we share it. I think the way we share it with our kids, the way we share it, with our neighbors. I think we tend to err toward life is bad, life is hard, Jesus is going to make it better, but we don't really explain that the make it better may not mean the way you think.
Right.
And so people come out with, I follow Jesus, he'll take care of all of my stuff.
Right.
And he does, but he doesn't take care of it by preventing it from coming into our life.
So again, to pull into the Gospels and what Jesus teaches, I think this is where Jesus says it's easier for the camel to go through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to get into heaven. And it's not necessarily because of how much money do you have in your bank account? Okay, you can't get into heaven.
Right.
But it is whenever we are affluent, whenever we have the ability to care for ourselves well, and Jesus is only, or religion or Christianity is only a weekend practice, or even just an hour
add-on.
or two add on to a weekend practice. And it's only there, honestly, as an insurance policy when we die, that it's going to be kicked into effect. Like we're paying into it, our payments monthly. We're paying with our acts of service or trying to be as kind as we can, but it's really making no real change on what I do for a living, how I do that thing for a living, the person I marry, the way I raise my kids. But when I die, I'm hoping this policy, this eternal insurance policy kicks into effect.
Right.
Jesus says for you to come to him is to render yourself dead already. And for most cultures in the world, that's easy because they feel dead already. And this is something they say, yes, I can fully understand that. And so Jesus, you are the better portion. Like I will sell all I have to buy the field because I've found the treasure that's buried there. And I know that treasure is better than anything that I have. So let me liquidate everything so I can buy this piece of property so I can hold this, right?
That's good.
For us, I think that's the tension. And it's certainly, Jesus doesn't say it's impossible. He just says it's harder.
Yeah.
And I just have to believe that us in Madison, of all places in the Bible Belt, have to know that it's going to be the hardest for us, because everywhere we look is about affluence. Everything we look at is about the here and now. I've made this comparison. Katie and I talk about it often, where we lived in Picayune. Now, again, a lot of churches are like this, but we lived in the parsonage, right? And when we lived there, it was right next to the cemetery. Our church was literally next to the cemetery, right outside a Sunday school class. 2 foot was a headstone of a sea of headstones. So when you park at the church and you come to church, you're reminded of your mortality. You're reminded that you don't know when, you don't know where, but you know it's coming for you, because all your family's out there and you'll soon be with them one day. So you come to church to receive that, and then you leave. And that's most churches, smaller churches around the country, and I would even say around the world. That's not Broadmoor. Broadmoor, we are on Highland Colony Parkway, and we are surrounded by make it betters. Like legitimately, our campus is surrounded by your skin is sagging, we'll firm it up. Your teeth are crooked, we'll make them straight. Your teeth are dingy, we'll make them white. You're sick, so go to the pharmacy, we'll give you this. You're not in shape, go to the gym, you're going to get better. You're sick, here's a hospital, we're gonna rehab you back in. Legitimately, like not hyperbole. This campus is surrounded by, you can make yourself better. That is the anti-gospel message. So you drive onto our campus, you drive off of our campus, you are inundated with our culture, which is the opposite if we were surrounded by a cemetery, to say, regardless of how much money you have or how hard you worked, that's where you're going to
end up.
And you don't know how much time you have, so make today count. Those are two different paradigms. And I think that's why when you live in a place of affluence, again, not wrong. I love living here. Disney World is fantastic. But we've got to know that this is going to not only be hard, but I would assume one of the hardest places to believe the gospel time and time again. So as long as we know that and we keep pressing in, that is what we are signing up for, living with the affluenza that we talked about last week.
That's good.
So I heard we're starting a cemetery out on the property.
We do have some property.
We do have property, right?
We do have some property in the back.
So I imagine that some people might struggle with, or have struggled with, the you brought up that God doesn't cause evil, but He certainly entrusts us with hard things, like, and I can just imagine, like, somebody who's walking through something that's really hard right now, maybe really struggling with that, like, doesn't feel like a good thing, doesn't feel like doesn't feel like God is trusting me with anything.
I think as we were talking, I think the way I feel is when I hear us talk about that, I'm better at saying God didn't cause it. I get that. But in the moment of pain, I'm even upset, frustrated, don't understand why you even allowed it.
That's right.
If you could have stopped it.
You could have stopped it, and you didn't. You didn't cause it. But you sure didn't stop it.
It's
And
like
you
you're
could
splitting
have.
hairs at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think if for those who are listening, and me at seasons of life, that is the feeling of why are you so against me that you didn't stop this? Because that was terrible.
And I think it makes it even worse in some ways when you hear stories of other people's lives where seemingly He did stop it.
Right.
Like
Why them?
Or didn't even let them go through it.
Yeah. Sometimes it's they didn't even have to deal with this. But sometimes it's like, well, they went through a hard thing, but it looks like God intervened and it changed it for the good. But my story's not that way. I went through the same hard thing, but my ending was different.
Right.
Why?
Well, I think sometimes we get to see the result. Like maybe at some points we get to the other side of something and we get to see what God did, or at least get a glimpse of it, and we can then now maybe understand why God did that. But I would say oftentimes we don't get that.
That's right.
And so we don't get the satisfaction, I guess, of seeing the end result and understanding maybe why God may have allowed something in our lives. And so then I think, it's, I mean, what do you have to tell somebody? It's like, well, just have faith, and you have to trust that God's doing something that you can't see. And maybe for you, maybe for someone else, but He's working.
Yeah. So Solomon makes a point early on in 7, because again, I think it's certainly the midway point also, right? So if you are following along with the chiastic structure, which is your kind of, think of it like—
Mark's been following along
there
with
you
that,
go.
I can
You're
tell.
following along with your
I picked up on
He
it
was
last
hoping you
week
would
as I
talk
was
about it,
reading
actually.
But typical Bible is written in ways that are even way more beautifully intricate than what we're reading on the page, and it's developing something. And so this is, depending on how you would break it down, we are midway point of this text. And so usually midway point of Hebrew literature is going to be the meat of the text. And this is where you find, we've talked about the world, and we've talked about a little bit of us, and this is us and God, right? So we're here. And he said, essentially, hey, I've seen a lot. I've seen everything in the world. And he said, I've seen righteous people die young, and seemingly tragic deaths. That's the point he's trying to make. And then I've also seen really wicked people live long and prosperous lives. And he said that's smoke, right? So essentially he said, I don't understand it. I'm just telling you what I saw. Yeah. For us, as we think through that, I don't know if we'll ever know why God does what he does, but we can only know what God has revealed to us through his word.
Right.
With that knowing, though, I think we have a choice to make. Do we believe that we deserve to know the reason why? You tell me why you did that. You tell me why you allowed that. Now, hear me out. Our feelings can feel that way.
Sure.
But God is greater than our feelings, and he's not mad at our feelings. He gave them to us. In the same way that my kids, my daughter who voted against the budget, will look at me from time and be angry at me.
Yeah.
You don't love me. You're mad at me. Why are you so? I know none of those things are true. She believes what she's saying. Like, two things are true at the same time.
Yeah.
She is fully believing that her anger in the moment at me or the situation, her words are valid to her.
Right.
And I don't want to take away those words. But I know from my vantage point, what she's saying is not true. And so it doesn't put me in any kind of way because I'm having to sort out, wait, why are you?
Right.
As a father looks to their children, this is in the same way that our Father in heaven looks to us. He can handle our big, angry emotions. And
That's right.
we may not have the capacity to understand. And that's why the scriptures say over and over and over again, don't lean on your own understandings.
That's right.
But in all of your ways, just acknowledge, see that he's God and you're not, and trust him.
Yeah.
That's not comfortable.
Yeah.
That's not easy.
Well,
but that is the way.
And what are you trusting him for?
Yeah.
I think is a question. And I know anytime somebody tries to give an easy answer for somebody who's hurting or in the middle of it, it doesn't always resonate.
It's never
but
that easy.
Here's how I try to pull it together in my mind. And it goes back to the word treasure. Use it. And just a minute ago, if I treasure God's glory, he's the king and I worship him above all else. And I know that when I put my treasure there, that I will be the most satisfied. Then that's my frame going into everything that I face. And I trust that in his sovereignty, he's using whatever I face for that purpose, for his glory, for him to be lifted up as the king. And I know that my only existence is for his worship and is for his glory. It puts me in a less demanding space because I'm trusting his sovereignty to do what he created all of us to do, which is his glory. And if I find treasure in that, that's a place of rest for me. And so for me, I mean, it goes back to how we preach the gospel. Where do you find your treasure? Is it in a good life? Is it in possessions and having what we want? Or is your treasure, and that's really all about him being lifted up and him being glorified and whatever he is going to do, he's going to do to make sure that happens. And I submit to that.
And to that point, sometimes I don't submit to that. And God is gracious to either allow us to see that the treasure that we're holding on to isn't treasure at all, or he will do whatever's necessary to loosen our grips on that thing.
Right.
Now, again, I'm not trying to say that God is prying your fingers off of whatever you're white knuckling or holding on to, but I know that it's true in Scripture. He's done it. I know it's true in our life. He's done it. And so it is his prerogative, because we are his creation and we are his, and he loves us enough to not let us hold on to something. Like, I think about this often with, again, going back to my kids, because I think God in his grace has given us the family unit. That's why it's so important in Scripture to be able to look at our families and understand him a little bit better. And so when my kids come in, Mary Joy, again, sweet Mary Joy, when she was little, she loved to go find critters.
Yeah.
And there was one time we were living at New Palestine, which was kind of on we were in Mississippi, but on the Louisiana line, wildlife preserve, critters everywhere. She came walking in with a snake in her hand one day. And again, she didn't know, but man, she was a critter. Dude, this thing's awesome. Look at this. And the dog's barking at it. She's living her best life. And so I run to her, probably scared her to death at me running at her. And I hold her hand and I pry her fingers off and shake that snake out of her hand. Well, she's upset. I took her toy away. I just caught this thing. Why in the world are you taking it away?
Yeah.
I can imagine we feel a lot like the 3-year-old version of Mary Joy who just caught the snake. We think, how cool is this thing? Look how it wiggles. Man, this is so good. And we're like, drop the snake. What are you doing?
Right. Yeah.
God is gracious infinitely more than that to do whatever it takes for us to drop the snake.
Yeah.
And so I think that we have to trust that even when we don't understand it, that He's God and we're not, and He loves us, and that's okay.
Yeah.
So let's take a couple minutes and talk about verses 16, I think through 18. It talks about do not be overly righteous. And so again, is this let's talk about it. I mean, like this isn't God calling us to like a lukewarm faith, right? So what does He mean by this?
Oh, yeah. Well, this gets back to something that Preston brought up earlier, that a lot of times that we are buying into the idea that our religion somehow earns us something, right? So
God's obligated.
Yeah. Now God is contractually obligated because we brought X, Y, and Z to the table. Now He's got to give me X, Y, and Z back, and it's got to be fourfold, or using religious language. And essentially, Solomon is saying, dude, you can't control God, because remember the whole theme so far is control and how the illusion that it is. Yeah. You can't control life, you can't control time, you can't control death, you can't control people, you can't even control yourself, and you certainly can't control God. And this is the point. Like, if your overly religious activity, you're doing more, is to control Him, then stop. Like that is the most foolish thing. That is the most hevel thing that you can do, because you will never control God, and it's exhausting you because you're not doing it out of delight.
The right reason.
You're doing it out of duty, and it'll religion can crush you because it gets to that point. Like, I bought into this when I was young, and I was told that if I have a quiet time and I try to do right and I give a tithe and I do this, then life's going to be great. And then when you get older and life's not great, who are you mad at now?
Right.
You're mad at God, or you're mad at your parents. Because we believe the false gospel and we've perpetuated this false gospel. So He's not saying be lukewarm. He's saying don't try to control God. And this is kind of the crazy thing. So if in the list that I gave yesterday, Bible study, quiet time, what you're listening to, what you're not listening to, what you're eating, what you're not eating, what you're drinking, what you're not drinking, whatever it is, those can all be great. Yeah. Those can be holy acts that God has called you to do if you're doing them just in the response of God's holiness and goodness. Right. Like that can be a life-giving thing for you. But in the same way, it's a heart posture issue. You can do the exact same things the wrong way, and all of them be life-taking from you.
Yeah.
And so it's not an issue of doing and not doing. It's an issue of why are you doing and not doing.
Yeah. Right.
Same when we talked about wealth. This is also in the religious activity. Don't be overly religious, and don't be overly wise, because this gets to the point. We probably didn't cover it as much as we could have yesterday, but this is the overthinking why God is doing something. And we see this a lot when people go through extreme grief. When somebody dies young or traumatically, and they're like, why would God do this? Okay. Well, I know why God did this. He showed me in a dream, or God showed me as I read this book, or I saw a cardinal come and sit on the windowsill, and so now I know that God is. That's well-meaning. Yeah. That's exhausting. And that's soul-crushing, because at the end of the day, you really don't know. You're just trying to put words to make it a little bit cleaner, because it's a mess. Yeah. Solomon says this is a mess. Right. Don't try to make the mess something more than it is, because God is above or bigger than that mess, and that's where our eyes should be.
Yeah. And you said it earlier, it all goes back to a control issue, right? Either if I live a certain way, I can control God, because now He has to treat me this way now. Or if I can be wise enough, smart enough, have it all figured out enough, then I can control life, because I can avoid all what we would consider pitfalls or hard places or tough times or whatever. And there is some wisdom in learn from others to avoid hard places. But we read here, hard things are going to come to all of us.
That's right.
And that's not necessarily because you've made the wrong decision or you've gone down the wrong path. It's just part of life, and it's part of what God uses to teach us. But I think both of those angles of righteousness and wisdom, to the 10th degree, are ways of trying to control life.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, he's saying you
can't.
don't have control.
So it goes back to just enjoy this life, but enjoy it in the view of God's sovereignty. And so when you have, going back to the meal, the drink, and the work, as it sits before you, understand that's where it comes from. And, this gets into our practice of being thankful and praying for our meal and being thankful for that. I don't think anywhere in the scriptures does it say you need to pray before a meal. I remember, growing up, my grandma would say, if you don't pray before it, you're going to choke on that chicken. I'm like, well, come on, Grandma. Like, it's fine.
Probably
it's
not.
Free blessed, man. It's, we bless it at the grocery store. But when you understand that every bite of food, every drink, every moment at work is given to you by God, that changes how you think. It changes how you interact with people. That's even changing when the hard teachers show up.
Yeah.
That even changes that, because when we live in a posture of right now, God, what have you given me right now? On the great days, God, thank you for that. But on the hard, God, that's hard. What are you teaching me? Help me learn. Help me not miss this moment. I don't like it. Like that's safe. You can say that to God.
Yeah.
But teach me. Don't let me miss the moment that you want for me here. Each moment. But if we're caught in the future, or if we're caught in the past, you're gonna miss it.
Yeah.
If you're caught in the anger of the moment, I'm not doing it. You can't make me learn. You're going to miss the opportunity. And that's the whole point of this chapter. Is
So
we
good.
are to learn.
So good.
Yeah.
Well, fellas, we're out of time. But really good conversation. And so I look forward to the rest of the book.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Chapter 8 gets a little bit more lighthearted.
There you go.
Not much, but it gets a little bit more lighthearted. It's going to be great.
Cool. Good
Hey,
deal.
so as we wrap up, just one thing to keep on the radar screen. We've got Neon Nights coming up. That's a big event for our church.
Yeah, it's not this weekend, but next weekend. And if you're unfamiliar with what Neon Nights is about, it's really a time for our families who have someone with special needs to come and have that person just be a part of a fun night. There's a lot of food involved. There's a lot of music involved. And it's really just kind of like a big party. Some think of it as like the prom almost.
That's right.
It is. If you've ever been to it, you will know there's probably more joy per person
It's awesome.
in this building on that night than just about any other time of the year. So looking forward to it. Information on the website.
Yeah, that's great.
And volunteers needed.
We
If you
do
wanna
need
be a part of
volunteers,
it.
So if you want to be a part of it, that is part of the night, is kind of putting a buddy with each participant. So we could use some more of those for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, and if you want to come away with, like feeling uplifted and, more joyful
Yep.
in life,
It's time to do it.
It's
man,
the
that's
deal.
a
right.
great event to try out. So anyway, well, look forward to next week's conversation. And thank you guys.
Thank
Love
you.
doing life with you.
Love y'all.